Aloha everybody, it's Marissa Indigo. How are you all doing? So today we're going to be talking about working with Ascended Master Mary Magdalene. July 22nd is actually Mary Magdalene's feast day in appreciation for her and all of her beautiful service to humanity. So today we're going to be talking about Mary, and we're also going to be talking about this wrap up of a 13-year cycle and wrapping up this galactic year into the next galactic year, which begins on July 26th. So I just want to go a little bit into Mary Magdalene as an ascended master. I know that on a mainstream consciousness level, she is known as being a harlot or a whore. But actually, if you dig around online, you will see that I think it was 1970, the Vatican actually revoked the erroneous conception of her being painted as a whore. She was actually like the apostle to the apostles. She was Jesus's right-hand woman. She was his wife. There's a lot of research that you can do about this topic to check it out. But, you know, with everything, we always have to be mindful that with the takeover of the patriarchy a very long time ago, any power from women, any divine feminine, anything, was always resulting in a smear campaign. So we're looking at fake news from like over 2,000 years ago. So just a little bit of backstory on Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene first came to me personally, I think it was about 11 years ago, through a friend that let me borrow her book. I believe the author's name is Flo Aeveia. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but the book is called I Remember Union, and it's just an incredible book on a very multidimensional sacred marriage between Mary and Jesus, and both of them, being ascended masters here, avatars here, to contribute to, the consciousness of humanity, really propelling us forward for right where we are right now, the times that we are experiencing right now. So she came to me about 11 years ago. I read this story, I Remember Union, and it was very pivotal for me. It was the beginning of my awakening journey into my own divine feminine. It really took me until I was pregnant with my daughter at 21 to begin to embrace. Even that I wasn't able to do actually right away. So to begin to comprehend the magic of being a woman and what that really meant. So starting to understand the divine feminine principle through the most material level, which for me at that time was being pregnant. So that's when Mary Magdalene first came to me in that story, and I highly recommend that story. I will list it in the resources in the comments below, in the description box below, So Mary Magdalene, as an ascended master, is a very powerful teacher for women. She came back into my experience in March of this year, which I find very synchronistic because her birthday is supposed to be the spring equinox. A lot of her descendants are supposed to have been her energy reborn through the spring equinox. So for example, like even Joan of Arc, who is supposed to be another representation of the Mary Magdalene energy, the female Christ consciousness energy, was supposed to be born, I believe, on March 22nd. So as a teacher, Mary Magdalene is just exceptionally powerful for women who have been victimized. So even if we have not experienced victimization in this incarnation cycle, you know that through our ancestry, through the matrilineal line, this is definitely something. So I really like to say that she's helped me so much with shame, a lot of the different abuse that I endured as a child, also a lot of past life trauma, slander or low self-esteem, and just overall helping you to kind of process these more dense and not loving self-concepts that we may have experienced out in society or in our family or carrying over from past lives. So to really integrate these soul fragments that have split off, with the divine feminine being trampled down through the patriarchy. And in this process, once we can really address and begin to embody that, the trauma has been removed and revoked, if you will, then we can really start to integrate our divine feminine. Now, the reason I think that this has come through for me at this time is that we are wrapping up this galactic year, and the following galactic year that is coming within just a few days here on July 26th is the White Magnetic Wizard in the Mayan Galactic Time Codex, and it's all about anchoring the divine feminine. So what I'm getting is that we as women are really being called now to integrate on a higher level our self-love and our empowerment and opening the heart chakra, really releasing fear and any way that we have been silenced to come forth as leaders in love and empowerment to assist our men in society to integrate their divine feminine. So I feel that we're really being called to carry the torch as divine feminine if we are a woman incarnate, or if we identify with the gender of a woman, to embody the essence of the divine feminine and therefore hold that vibration and be able to teach through living it everyone around us, whether it's other women in our life or men that need to integrate their divine feminine. So let's see. Let me just look at my notes. So I'm very excited to say that in celebration of Mary Magdalene and all the gifts that she has brought me, just a lot of self-love and just so much richness to my life. I started to really dive in deeper with her after my birthday. My birthday is in April, but I was starting to really feel Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene's presence in my own field, feeling her come through and seeing her emanate in many forms virtually, and all kinds of interesting synchronicities. She was coming into my sphere pretty hard. So I started to want to dive into her and really meet her, learn from her, learn her story, and embody her as a higher aspect of myself. And in this process, a girlfriend actually gifted me for my birthday a trilogy of books that are the Magdalene line. So I'll put notes on those also in the description below. But in this process of reading these books, I actually discovered some pretty interesting information, which kind of reconnected the cycle of 11 years ago when I started really diving into the mysteries and a lot of different metaphysical content and ascended masters and stuff. So when Mary Magdalene first came into my experience 11 years ago, I discovered that book, Holy Blood, Holy Grail. And it's like the preceding, conspiracy bloodline book to like the Da Vinci Code. And they would talk about like the very secret, that the Holy Grail was actually the sacred blood lineage of Mary and Christ. And so the song Grail, if you will. And it actually traced like, theoretical, like on a map, geologically, where they went on the world and like where they may have descendants. And for me, it just sparked an interesting notion of like, oh, well, there are a lot of regions in common where they have been and their descendants or have known to supposedly have resided with my own ancestry line. And then it turns out that my dad, I always knew when I was a teenager that when he was a teenager, he actually posed as Jesus in a live painting in Venice at the Last Supper. And my dad, he's Sicilian, and he really looks like Jesus. And then I found out that his birthday is actually Jesus's real birthday, which is theorized to be January 6th. So just interesting stuff, just fun to play and explore. So this all came about, really within the last month of entertaining the possibility. Even if it's not true, it's still fun, and it does aid the embodiment process of Mary Magdalene and just that lineage and the beauty of her teachings, which is, like I said before, to overcome any of our denser experiences, any abuse or name calling or anything that we have endured in our life, and transform that into, instead of feeling victimized, really owning our grace and our beauty and, being a shining example through our love. So in honor of all of that I have been so fortunate to to kind of really soak up, for July 22nd, I'm actually launching my very first course. During this eclipse cycle, I've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes as well as a lot of processing, and I've actually created a page, a multidimensional consciousness provoking human potential page that is sharing all of the wisdom I have amassed over the last like 12 plus years to provide that information on deeper levels to individuals. So I actually will have a mastery school. So from now on, you're going to hear me say, hello everybody, aloha, it's Marissa Indigo from DivineDNABlueprint.com. So at DivineDNABlueprint.com, you'll find I'm actually opening up a mastery school for self-mastery, and my very first course in honor of July 22nd being Mary Magdalene's feast day is going to be Healing a Divine Feminine Trauma with Ascended Master Mary Magdalene. So it's going to be for anybody, women or men, but it's more geared towards women. Anybody who is desiring to really understand how to embody the divine feminine in the Aquarian age, which we are now coming into, and to be a bridge for that. Anyone that has had to endure shame or wants to work on self-love or low confidence, any kinds of abuse. I don't know if many of you know this, but I come from a lot of abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, different things. So it's very helpful to have special feminine mystery practices and to work with her to, heal these. Anyone interested in the feminine mysteries, want to go further with that, and also anchoring within the self, the feminine Christ consciousness, the divine feminine, and anybody looking to heal ancestral trauma through the matrilineal line. So there is going to be a promo code for this course. It's DivineFem22, and it's going to take 22% off of this course until July 24th. So for 2 days, I'm going to have this special deal. And the course offerings are, we're going to really dive into the history of Mary Magdalene as a being, as an ascended master, and meet her and learn more about her and how she relates to each and every one of us. We're going to be working on releasing trauma at the cellular level, and we're going to learn different rituals. Ritual is very powerful for healing and very much a part of our multidimensional journey as we are embodying our Christ consciousness and our avatar consciousness going forward. So ritual is very important. All of my courses are going to have ritual. So rituals, energy healing practices, we're going to be working with the sun, various meditations, and also downloadable workbook exercises so that you can continue on with your work. So if any of you are interested in this, I would love to hear from you. If you have further questions, you're welcome to leave them in the comments below, and check out the website, check out the course. I'm so grateful to take on this venture of offering my wisdom to others. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.